Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 9. So this module we're coming to the end of the poetry units. We have had a couple of units just on poetry terminology. You've read some poems, you've done a few assignments to try and understand them a little bit better. Now we are to the poetry exam, and then in the next module you'll write the poetry essay. So we are just kind of moving forward just like we did with fiction. You'll feel some of these assignments are fairly similar. So the first thing you want to do is just kind of plan out when you're going to do the poetry exam. Just like the fiction exam, you can only take it one time and there is a time limit. So it's only 60 minutes to take the exam. So you want to make sure that you do have that hour that you are comfortable sitting down and taking the exam. There are plenty of resources for you there. I just kind of list out what we've done before, so all the readings that you want to take a look at. So it's most of the chapters that are just in that poetry section, and then we only have one new chapter, which is the chapter on figures of speech, which are figures of speech are probably something that you may have covered in Comp 1 as well, but they're just different ways that we can make comparisons with our language. And so you'll see some examples in that chapter for how it's used in poetry. So take a look at that chapter. There will be a couple questions on that as well in the exam. And then when you're ready to take the exam, you go ahead and start it. It does pull from the pools from the previous the quizzes that you've taken. So you may get some questions that you've seen before, and you may get entirely new ones. So once you're done with that, then you will want to make sure that you do the actual exam question that is the essay part. So just like with the fiction, rather than timing your writing, I have this separate, and so it's just a separate assignment to turn in. And similar type of writing that I want you to do, you're going to just create a Word document with your paragraphs. You're not numbering or bulleting your answers. I want you to then just kind of write it out, not necessarily an essay form, although a lot of students do, with a header and heading and title and all that. That's fine. But just writing out in paragraphs. You're going to tell me a poem that you choose. Favorite poem is what most students choose. Explain what you think it means, and then what sort of poetic elements you see the author using, and then what do you like about it, and then what are some things that you have learned about poetry based on reading it. So it's a personal reflection as well as just kind of looking back over what have we seen throughout this unit on poetry, and kind of allowing you to tell me some of the things that you learned and what you recognize, that kind of thing. Obviously, I don't want you using AI. Anything that's been AI generated, you're not going to get credit for. You can check your grammar if you want, but otherwise I want it to be your own thoughts and your own language as you write through that. The other thing that we're going to do, so once you're done with the exam, you've done the two parts of the exam, then you were ready to start thinking about a project that we're going to be working on for the next few modules. This is a research project, and this is, instead of having you write a third essay for the class, you are doing a project instead. And so your task is going to be to pick a topic related to literature in some way, and then find some sources about the topic, and then display your sources somehow. So display the information that you found, and it really depends on, creativity is a big part of this project, and so I really encourage you to think beyond. A lot of students do a PowerPoint. Think beyond a PowerPoint. What can you do? Can you make a video? Can you create a digital collage? Maybe you like art and you want to do a painting or something like that. You definitely have, there's a whole bunch of different things that you could do. Maybe you want to be a teacher, create a lesson plan for me. You could do some type of lecture, but then record yourself talking about it and upload it, something like that. So beyond just PowerPoints, I really encourage you to think just creativity, doing something that is not just standard for displaying research. Make it interesting. Make it interesting for you. Make it a challenge for you. When I taught this class in person, I get a lot more like physical things, poster boards, dioramas, things like that. It's a little harder to turn in online, but you can always take pictures. So if you want to do something physical, create something physical, create a board game, take a bunch of pictures of it and upload those. So there's lots of different ideas for you. I've got a couple of links here. Some of them are things that would work really well, and some of them maybe not, but you could definitely get some inspiration from them. And then, there's a lot you could do with this. So just keep in mind, it just needs to be something related to literature in some way. Even if you feel like it's a little bit of a stretch, maybe you want to compare sci-fi readings to sci-fi in movies, that's fine. However you want to do it, you want to incorporate something that you enjoy, which would be very helpful. So, maybe you look back at your favorite series from when you were a kid or something like that. Favorite author, favorite work, something just tangentially related to literature. I don't know that I've ever had a student who has absolutely not picked something that they could use for this assignment. So just kind of think off the wall a little bit for what you might do for this project, because the more it is interesting to you, the better it will end up being. So what you're going to do is then turn in a topic proposal, which basically is just you telling me what you plan on doing and what the project's going to look like. So what topic, what do you want to include? What sort of things are you going to look for? How do you want to do the project? That kind of thing. You can't change your topic after you have submitted this unless you email me. So all you have to do is email me. If you decide you get started working on it, it's not going to work out, just send me an email and I will make sure that it's going to work. And that's fine. You don't necessarily have to cement how you're going to turn in the project yet, but if you kind of have an idea of what you're going to try, then go ahead and put that in here as well, just so that I can make sure that you're on the right track with everything. So that's going to be a project we will work on throughout almost the rest of the semester. So you're not turning that in yet. Right now, you're just planning and getting some ideas. If you have more than one idea, you can turn those in, definitely. So just be thinking about what could you possibly do for this. So if you have questions, send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.